bet you've never listened to one Joe Rogan podcast. I've met your heroes. They are short and stupid. Cerebral speed bumps, if you will.
Is that real? Now, because I used to watch him on UFC back in the day. He was always sitting down. And he'd be sitting down on the show. Wow. Honestly, that would be my fear factor. That would definitely be my fear factor. No, she on one now. Shout out to all the subscribers and the members here on the channel. Don't forget to like the video. My name is Reese Waters, and this is Who Raised Y'all, where we highlight those unique individuals going above and beyond to make society worse.
Can I ask you any questions about Sleepy Joe real quick?
Go for it.
How do you feel about the fact that he said that he would date a 10-year-old in 10 years? You think that's like, yeah?
I man, to be honest.
So if I told you that was actually Trump that said that and not Biden, would you still say the same thing?
Yeah, I don't think he ever said that.
I'm going to be dating her in 10 years. Can you believe it?
Interesting. Videos cut. I'm not believing that video.
You know, the kinds of people you'll see asking to speak to the manager at the pearly gates.
I want to talk to the manager.
Now, Maga, let me holler at you. Because when we saw the dog faces dancing at Mar-A-Lago, we let y'all live, didn't we? We dragged it, but we let y'all live. And then when we saw the girl dancing in the martini glass, we let y'all live, didn't we? I mean, it was during a government shutdown and all. The optics were nuts, but we mostly let y'all live, didn't we? I got a question. Did they ever have the dog faces in the martini glass? Did they ever do like a collab situation? Nah. That would be unsanitary. We don't do that. No, we don't. Dogs be outside. You know how that is. And speaking of dogs being outside, how about the fact that we also have heard from a few sources that they have never seen a black person in all their travels to Mar-A-Lago, despite the fact that there are literally hundreds of people in attendance. But we seen dog faces though. We seen dog faces, but we ain't seen no black people. Not even in the dog mask. They don't want you to even be black on the inside. Turn off the light. Now, Maga, we've seen the dog mask, we've seen the martini glass, and of course, we've heard about Mar-A-Lago face for quite some time. But finally, y'all done gone too far. Something need to be said. A guest at Mar-A-Lago this weekend. These are the same people who complain about Super Bowl dancers. Somebody rescue that cross. Please, somebody rescue that cross. They didn't make that cross for that. Hookers and thieves at every level. Few things sum up the MAGA mentality like wearing a big old cross while sporting a pair of enormous fakes large enough to make Kristi Noem's husband envious. Nah. I think his standards are a little bigger than that. One of these pics is from Mar-A-Lago. The other is from the Adult Video Movie Awards. Can you guess which is which? No, I have no idea which one is from Mar-A-Lago and which one is not. But shout out to Romy Rain and Annika Albright. Y'all held me down.
They're about to drag you. They're about to drag you In these comments, oh, they about to drag you. Hey, they about to drag you. In these comments.
When they yank those expensive rich Gramps catchers out of her chest, she's gonna need a decent meal. Oh, and never skip leg day. Gramps catchers? The leg comment. That was a deep cut with the leg comment, though. It really was. If only we had somebody to tell us. You know the tea gotta be spicy down there if this what it looked like.
At one point, Ozempi was going around telling everybody who would listen that Alina Habba was sleeping with one or two of the Trumps. Not my mouth. And Alina Habba, sorry if you're upset that I even say this, but you know exactly who is spreading that, so please don't be mad at me, because this is what these people do.
I know that ain't who I think it is. Is that Elon Musk baby mama? Is that? We ain't seen her since she gave away the Tesla.
I'm selling it because I need to make up for the 60% cut that Elon made to our son's child support.
Why do you think that he did that?
That's a great question for him.
No, I don't know. I want to hear the tea, but we know she got poor judgment. Honestly, ladies, what could Elon Musk have said to you? We heard him speak, and we seen him jump. He would have fell off the bar stool. This woman's entire identity is getting impregnated by a particularly wealthy and famous man, which is fine as a life goal, but it's kind of sad because she's under the impression that she deserves to be known for something else. That's from Maga? Now, I drag it, but I'm not going to let Maga drag it. If that's how they feeling, now I want to hear what she got to say. What you mean, her entire identity? What you know Laura Trump for? Huh? What you know, what was her qualifications to run the RNC? Let me ask you, Maga, did you go see the Melania movie? Huh? What was it? It was about her Einstein visa? Is that what it was? It was. Have you donated to Turning Point USA this year? Huh? Erica Kirk taking in millions of dollars. No accounting. What's she known for? You know what? Hey, cook, Ashley St Clair, cook.
No, but there's memberships to Mar-A-Lago. And this fucking orange Oompa Loompa in the Oval Office sells these memberships for $1 million per year. People are paying $1 million to get access to Mar-A-Lago.
Does the membership come with the Mar-A-Lago face, or that's extra?
There's also events. So, for example, people like Dinesh D'Souza will do a movie premiere, or Turning Point will do a gala there, and people get invites and access through that avenue. And then there is the last avenue for access to Mar-A-Lago, which is the social climbing, grifting class of primarily women who just orbit around anybody who has access to Mar-A-Lago, a lot of members of the Trump administration, etc.
Oh, I seen them. They was in the photo. They was in the 2-part photo with the AVNs. Yeah, I seen them.
Now, anytime I would go to Mar-A-Lago with these girls, I was ready to just show up as I was, and then they inducted me into this like Mar-A-Lago ritual, basically, where they're setting me up with their spray tan girl and the makeup artist, who is very nice, and then telling me where to get clothes, what I should do, and then setting me up with this is what they call her, not me, their China lady, because they have a China lady who gets them all whatever designer they want, except fake, so that they can continue to play this game, class signaling and wealth signaling, to pretend that they're someone that they are not.
Wait a minute. Y'all jumping through all the hoops and spraying yourself down with bronzer to go into Mar-A-Lago with a fake bag? Why don't you save yourself the energy and go to the club? Because the club don't got an 85-year-old billionaire ready to throw it all away. That's why.
These women are married and then they treat Mar-A-Lago like a hunting ground for their next victim, okay? They are constantly seeing if any of these men can put them in a better position than they're currently in. Which pretty funny since you guys all had that criticism about me. Seems like projection.
That's actually exactly what I was thinking about, honestly, as you were talking. That is exactly what I was thinking about. Man, it's a cold world. Imagine losing your wife to Mar-A-Lago. And consider me shocked that it would be full of married women whose husbands aren't there. I know, right? I mean, I guess if it's Trump's house, you kind of got to do as Trump does, right? When in Mar-A-Lago.
In between these Mar-A-Lago events, these people are rolling their tits off at Burning Man, which, who cares? I think Burning Man's a good time. However, you are working for an administration now which says that the peak of degeneracy is trans people and gay people, while you're just rolling your ass off in the middle of a desert while trying to climb your way up into the White House, of which some of these people successfully did by being a drunk hoe at Mar-A-Lago.
Are we naming names? Okay, I'll keep watching.
There are some good events and causes at Mar-A-Lago, such as Laura Trump's charity, which is for St. Jude's, which I donated to and supported. But then even at that event, we go to the St. Jude's charity event, and then a couple of people from this group, including one person at the White House, was like, that was nice. I guess we need a palate cleanser for kids with cancer. Let's go to the strip club. Yeah, agreed. The kids with cancer was heavy. Let's go forget about that with some titties. Really?
That's a great line. That's a great line. I got to remember that for my next guy's night out. I mean, we're not going to go because I'm too cheap, but I would love for that to come out of my mouth, though.
And, like, whatever. Everyone likes to have a good time, but the issue is that these people pretend like they don't. I've had my fair share of fun and degeneracy, but these people are championing and supporting an administration that is taking the moral high ground while they are the most degenerate white trash I've ever met. And I know this because I did all the white trash stuff with them.
Now, wait a minute. Talking about trying to take all the moral high ground while they are the epitome of white trash. If only there was like a purveyor of that kind of message despite his own lifestyle, like a real central figure that we could point to for the complete double standard that he pushes and promotes across society.
I'm off the motherfucking drugs, I be tripping.
Now, wait a minute. Give her some credit, though. Get it? Because she hit Elon's pockets. So that somewhat diminishes his ability to do that. Of course, it would be much more if it wasn't like 10 of them.
And our country, our administration, our government is not a game for you to play and place your little friends who have no business being in the government at positions at the State Department. It's just absurd. And people can say whatever they want about me, but I'm not making consequential decisions for the country and the world.
Man, I gotta get out of the house more. No, I'm not going to Mar-A-Lago. I'm gonna hit some of the events on the left and see what they got going on.
I have a bag of badges from all the events I did with these people. Okay. And so I've been to my fair share of Republican events, and they are all debaucherous. The drinking, the substances, the sex, the this, the that. And recently, I've started going to different events that are more center or left. I went to the World Forum, which is an event with Hillary Clinton, and I spoke about AI governance and AI architect and regulation. And everyone I met there had a family or was leaving early to go see their kids. And nobody was like, hey, you want to hit the club after, like it was with when I would go to these Republican events. There was no rave event after, like at Turning Point. And it was
Wait,
for
there
me,
are Turning Point raves? Stop right
yes,
there.
James O'Keefe does a Make America Rave Again event after at all of the Turning Point events. And James should have just been a theater kid, honestly.
They are all failed theater kids. We talk about this all the time.
So it's but it was astounding to see that contrast, because while you're in MAGA, you're told that the left is the side of debauchery and degeneracy and all of this. And then when I'm contrasting both sides with these events that I go to, I was like, I'm still in contact with these people and we're sending photos of our kids. And,
it's very normal, very safe adults.
That to me, I was like,
I know.
Oh, scratch that. Maybe I'll just go undercover next time. I'll go on. I just want to see what they're talking about. I just want to see what they're talking about. That's all that is. That's got to make anybody who actually is serious about the business of governing feel pretty good to be surrounded by plastic. We have every reason to hate this woman, and yet her story is so compelling, and she's dropping so much juicy tea. She got more tea? What we talking about?
I bet you've never listened to one Joe Rogan podcast.
I've met your heroes. They are short and stupid. Cerebral speed bumps, if you will.
Is that real? Now, because I used to watch him on UFC back in the day. He was always sitting down. And he'd be sitting down on the show. Wow. Honestly, that would be my fear factor. That would definitely be my fear factor. No, she on one now. Former MAGA influencer describes the exact platform where political operatives pay for posts and the loophole that keeps it hidden. Go on. Ashley St Clair spent nearly a decade inside the MAGA influence machine. She says she was recruited around 19 through Turning Point USA, built a following exceeding 1 million on X, and became one of the movement's most visible young women. Now she's describing how the machinery behind that movement actually works, and the picture she's painting looks less like grassroots politics and more like a professional marketing operation with a lobbying problem.
Stay with me while I tell you about how the pay-to-play MAGA influence campaigns work. For those who don't know, my name is Ashley St Clair, and I was involved in MAGA politics and was a MAGA influencer for almost a decade. I know. Now, MAGA, and really MAGA, not so much just GOP messaging, is incredibly coordinated. And I was initiated into this very young, about 19 years old, when I was first brought on to Turning Point. That was when I was invited to my first Turning Point event and was really thrust into this MAGA influencer ecosystem. In 2015-2016, MAGA and their operators realized how important and consequential social media was for politics. This really started during the Obama years when they harnessed the internet and email campaign messaging, and then MAGA took it to the next level with things like Cambridge Analytica and coordinated messaging on sites like Twitter. Their main avenues for this influence are group chats, paid influence campaigns, and parties. Now, for the group chats, they operate with large influencers, particularly on Twitter. That is their primary mode of communication, is Twitter. And they will have these giant group chats that make influencers and individuals feel important because they are in group chats with members of the administration, people on the Trump team, in which they coordinate these messaging.
Now, we have seen that coordination before. When she talks about I mean, really, and put no effort into it either. That's the sad part about it. Take some pride in your work, MAGA influencers. I mean, at least as much pride as the ladies take going to Mar-A-Lago.
Tactics. They also have coordinated calls with these campaigns and with these politicians, so you feel that you are important. What I really want to focus on, what was that? What I really want to focus on though is the paid campaigns, because this is able to fester through many loopholes within our own regulations and laws. Because since what they're promoting is messaging or petitions or campaigns and not a service or a product, they do not have to disclose that they are paid for this on social media. So they have these Republican operatives, some of which were former White House, who build out these platforms that these right-wing influencers can log onto and see active campaigns and sign up for and get paid for promoting certain messaging, certain initiatives, certain petitions. And this pay is typically, per click. Sometimes it's a flat rate, but it is everything from, hey, tell your audience to call their members of Congress and vote a particular way on this bill, or, have your followers sign this petition, promote this propaganda, XYZ.
They got a whole portal that you can look. Let me find out. Hey, left. Y'all got this? Well, send me something.
And the structure is indistinguishable from ad campaigns that you would do for a traditional company. So if you take, Tarte, for example, or a cosmetic brand or what have you, typically when they get influencers, they will also have a company copy or things that they should say, a script. And so do these right-wing influencers. They are given a script, they are paid, and they post it. And the only difference is that they do not have to disclose that it's an ad because of our current laws and regulations do not require them to do so, since it is not a good or a product.
Nope, it's just taking goods and products away from 99% of the population. Isn't that fascinating? Isn't that fascinating that the people that you would put in charge of shutting down something like that are too busy taking advantage of it? Politics.
Now, some of these consulting firms that pay for this stuff, they will show up on FEC records because, the campaign or the PAC or the candidate pays them. But once they pay this consulting firm, it's gone. There is no further disclosures required by the consulting firms or anything like that. So this is a good way for them to hide exactly who they're paying for messaging, because it just goes through these firms that do not require any additional reporting to the FEC. And again, they also have these group chats with members of the administration and high-up officials that, especially when a scandal or controversy breaks out, all of this messaging is coordinated. Hey, here's how we respond to the files. Here's how we respond to the war. Here is how we respond to everything.
Now, it's one thing to see the evidence of all of this, which, of course, we have indeed seen. The identical messaging, the coordinated timing, all of that. But to be so cynical as to be engaging in group chats with the administration, I swear, social media was just, I don't know. I don't know. I know that's how I make my living these days, but, could have been a contender.
I don't think people understand how bad the last few days have been for MAGA online influencers. Recently, MAGA creator and Elon Musk's baby mama, Ashley St Clair, dropped a bombshell on Twitter, explaining into great depth how coordinated the MAGA online ecosystem is. She became a Turning Point USA operative when she was just 19 years old. St. Clair goes on to say that most MAGA influencers are corralled in group chats and unleashed on Twitter with positions, campaigns, and propaganda that they are hired for like any other content creator campaign. Most of these campaigns are paid by consulting firms that don't have to disclose these expenses to the FEC because they aren't considered a goods sold transaction. She goes on to say that 99% of MAGA influencers online that you see are paid or receiving some form of compensation for their actions. These paid statements could be for a war to prop up a politician, or even a scripted response to stuff like, let's say, the files. These are marching orders. There is zero free thinking here. Another MAGA grifter named Dom Lucre was just demonetized for 90 days on Twitter for posting AI-generated war footage and is having a full crash out online. This dude has been a sellout. The moment he stopped getting paid, he completely turned on the right, saying he's been critiqued more by conservatives than liberals. Is this the same Dom Lucre that posted an AI picture of Black Trump calling him his N-word on MLK Day? And then Dom starts crying about how his dad is old. A dad, he said, that passed away 2 years ago. And he has a family. And that he can't watch his girl starve. Aww. I'm sorry, Dom, but you've been spreading fake news and getting paid for it. I'm sorry that you are finding out that MAGA elites only view you as a tool, not an equal. Lastly, MAGA influencer Gunther Eagleman has a DM thread that was leaked which shows that he was selling influence online for $300 reposts to the highest bidder. Gunther has been anti-war and America first, but he also somehow supports the war in Iran. He does what daddy tells him to do. I wouldn't be surprised if Eagleman and Lucre were both in the same group chat that St. Clair was talking about. And I'm sure that they both have been in coordinated campaigns together. Because all of these MAGA guys, they reply to each other and boost each other's content. Eagleman has been getting railed on Twitter since the leak thread was exposed. He honestly deserves it because he has no spine, no integrity, and has parroted everything this administration has told him to in lockstep for almost 10 years. Our democracy and the truth have been under fire since COVID, the 2020 election, January 6th, and every fake immigrant headline you've seen. These people are the lowest of the low. They were pushing the slop for pay, and I'm so happy to see it unraveling all due to capitalism.
Now, here's a question I have for you guys. Does the realization that this is a whole industry unto itself add or take away your faith and belief in humanity and the goodness of man? Like, is it better or worse that they were pushing the nastiest narratives on the people for money, or that they was just so demented that they really were doing it for free and were willing to completely compromise their ideals just for attaboys and likes? You know, I don't know. I don't know. One thing I do know though, they're not gonna like that this is all out in the open. Oh no, they gonna come for you, Ashley St Clair. They gonna. You got rid of that Tesla. That was good because they tracked that. From Ian Miles Chong. Oh, I know him. Benny Johnson suggested that Ashley St. Clair should be stripped of her custody over her child she had with Elon Musk because she wants to make the child trans. Frankly, anyone who wants to trans their kids should not be allowed to have any sort of custody over kids. Ashley is a mentally unfit, overgrown, and immature adolescent-minded woman child who wants to groom her child into a trans freak just to get back at her ex. We going at the kids now? I wouldn't advise that. Not from a mother. I mean, I don't know what kind of mother she is, but any mother, oh, there she go. You asked for that. My child is not trans, Ian Miles. I've never said such a thing, and I'd sue you for defamation if you weren't living in Dubai, hiding from Malaysian authorities. By the way, he was banging Naomi S., that German girl, and then she started banging Nick Sorter for a green card while simultaneously meeting up with Elon, who called her an odd duck. Y'all taking notes? You got the meeting minutes? Okay. All right. Oh, and she was living with Ada Lutch before Ada got deported for commercial activity from my ICE contact. How's Spain, sweetie? That went a little different than you thought it was. And you should know why you run behind Benny Johnson. You know better than that.
13,000 homicide from illegal aliens as of 2024. This is an absolute and total slaughter of our people, and it's time that we start charging the people in politics and in government and in the Biden administration that decided on these policies. The blood is on their hand. This Haitian did not belong in America, should not be here, should have never been here with a hammer, should have never been able to slaughter that woman.
If you're anything like me, you heard that stat and said, that doesn't sound right. Partially because it's obviously way too high, and secondarily because it came out of Benny Johnson's disgusting lying mouth. So I did what any normal person with half a brain does and looked it up. Roughly 16,000 total reported homicide cases, total in 24 total. So 13,000 of them being committed by undocumented migrants would represent kind of a fucking problem, Benny. So I went to the .gov U.S. Customs and Border Patrol website to find some statistics on this. Homicide and manslaughter committed by undocumented migrants in 2024. 29. Not 13,000, you malicious fuck. Not to mention the National Institute of Justice having a pretty comprehensive study about how undocumented immigrants offend at lower rates than natural-born U.S. citizens.
Hey, Ashley, you got any smoke for Benny? He the one that started it, because he was repeating what Benny said. I like what you did with him, though. I like what you did with him. I'm just saying, you know, let's keep it for Benny.
So, Benny, I have been sitting on the receipts of you for far too long. You and your sociopathic behavior and the way you operate your businesses and your grift. So you want to go, Benny? You want to talk about my children and make this personal? Let's go. Because I have been sitting on this for far too long. And guess what? A lot of people have been sitting on things about you for far too long. And I will remind you that if you live in a glass house, stop throwing stones for your little Facebook dollars. TTFN, you're next. And Benny, I wouldn't even try to retroactively delete anything on Telegram because I backed it all up years ago, many, many moons ago, because I've known you're a piece of shit.
I like that. I like that. Yeah, that's. Hey, cheers. Cheers. What kind of receipts we talking about? You don't need to tell me the whole thing. What kind of are we talking about? Like a Subway, like a little Subway receipt, or are we talking like a whole CVS receipt? Oh, that was a whole CVS. That was a whole CVS. Wow. With coupons on the bottom. Yeah. Benny. Sure, sir. This post will not get clicks. It won't make headlines. It won't be breaking the internet because it will not feed the drama machine. But it's still important to say I'm a Christian. As a Christian, I try and live out my faith. It's impossible to always get it right, but it's something I strive for. Jesus says, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be." Hey, Benny, what this gotta do with? Gays can be Christian too. This ain't refuting nothing. The internet runs on drama and it's gotten worse. I try and stay out of it, but the lies are loud and it's important to state the truth. I don't know why people engage in this trash. It's bad for the soul. But to the people out there that do it, I forgive you. Oh, goodness gracious. Come unto me. And then you gonna go with a whole Bible verse? Now, we'll give you this. Coming out with aggression and then playing victim, you definitely earned your spot there. However, a true MAGA wouldn't have been able to quote the Bible. You know Trump can't quote the Bible. You need to pick a side, Benny Johnson. I mean, come on. That was a whole lot of I won't deny the thing. That's what that was. All of this activity, all this sound and fury signifying nothing. Ashley St Clair is reportedly facing threats of being exposed after sharing videos criticizing Benny Johnson. In response, she has publicly disclosed instances of encounters with men and occasional marijuana use. Hey, Ashley, you ain't got to be ashamed of that. Not after what you said about Mar-A-Lago.
Since I came out about Benjamin Grinder Johnson, people have been threatening to expose me, so I'm just gonna do it myself. In case you didn't know, I've had sex with men outside of marriage. And in college, I used to, not only would I smoke weed, but I would mix it with, they call it a spliff, actually. And if
I like what you did. I was concerned. That, the tea had got cold, but you with it. You with it. I'm with it. You know what? This should be like a regular thing. Y'all need to just turn this into a reality show at this point. I would watch it. I would definitely watch it. I for sure would. And if you had any more of those, tests that you can run with people, is it Mar-A-Lago or the adult? I'm good at that. I'm good at that. So you should let me know. I can be your test audiences or any of that. By the way, I have a question for you. Appreciate all the work that you're doing. All the Let 'em Fight energy is strong with you. You know her? Huh? Do you know her? Okay. No, I'm just trying to figure out, is she like the Benny Johnson kind of Christian, or yeah, we just trying to get to the bottom of that. That's all. No, not like leg day. No, it's a turn of phrase.